Black Panther is an awesome new card in MarvelSNAP and a really solid way to win a single location in pools 1 and 2. We've been playing around with a bunch of different decks that we could try him out in, and I think we've settled on one which seems to feel like it's the strongest for pool 2. I'm going to go ahead and jump in and check it out. Let's go. Hey, Milky here, back again with another video for MarvelSNAP. Today we have a Pool 2 Black Panther deck, which I think is really solid and well-rounded, especially in the current meta and the current decks you're going to be versing in Pool 2. The strength of Black Panther is that he is a single lane winning card, which means if you can get him down and you can buff up his power often, you can go a long way to winning that location. But the problem is, how do you win another location? So we've built a deck around trying to do just that, which is win a location early on in the game and then set yourself up in a late game, having some flexibility in your turns to win that location with Black Panther or some other solid cards in the deck. The deck has a couple of win conditions and some really good counter plays which you can make as well. So I think the deck overall is a really well-rounded deck which can help you succeed not only if you're drawing Black Panther, but as well as countering other things that you might be versing as well. We've got a deck right below me. We've got some core cards over on the other side over there, but let's go ahead and jump into all of the cards in the deck and take a look at why I've included them. So we've got Nightcrawler as an early game card. Great way to reach unreachable locations for the most part and just gives you a bit of flexibility with your turns. Nova then comes in as a part of this tiny little destroy package we have, which can help you flood the board and get a lot of power on a single location. He also acts as a way to buff up the rest of your board, which can be quite handy at certain points in time. We then have Forge, and Forge is a key card in buffing up Black Panther, but he can also work with other cards in the deck, so there's some decisions to be made there. Carnage comes in at a 2-drop. He's got some great synergy with some other cards in the deck like Mr. Sinister and Nova. He's a way to win another location outside of the Black Panther location and provide a bunch of power there. Mr. Sinister at a 2-drop spreads 2 cards to a location, so he's a great target for early Carnage plays, buffing up the Carnage and building power there. But he can also be a recipient of the Forge buff as well. If you do Forge into Mr. Sinister potentially on a early game turn, you can have 2 4/4s out on the board, which is essentially 2 costs for 8 power, which is pretty huge in this game. Okoye has great synergy with Black Panther, providing he's in your deck and providing that you draw him. But even still, Okoye is a great card to buff up the rest of your deck and every other card that you'll draw after her. So she's a pretty good inclusion at 2-drop. She can also be relatively easily eaten by Carnage and you're not feeling like too sad about eating an Okoye. So Okoye is just a great way to get an on-reveal effect, which is going to benefit the rest of your game. Ironheart is a great way to get a really strong on-reveal effect, up to 6 power across different cards, but then also you're able to clean up that location with Carnage, so it can work really well there. She also has great synergy with Odin, which is later on in this deck, where you can double down on her on-reveal effect. As I mentioned earlier, with Black Panther decks in Pool 1 and 2, it's often how you win the other locations, and Wolfsbane can be a great way to do that early on. Even with Nightcrawler, you don't have to feel like you're locking yourself out of a location by playing Wolfsbane last. If you've got Nightcrawler on there, you can move him out and get the full value of Wolfsbane. So that can be a really strong interaction for sure. Shang-Chi's an awesome card to include in this deck because of the amount of Black Panthers we're seeing around at the moment, but also because of the new location, Shuri's Lab. It's just dropped in game where any card that you play there will have its power doubled. You can get some huge Shang-Chi value by including this card in your deck. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Shang-Chi over the coming days as this location becomes more prominent in the game. Black Panther, we've talked about him a lot before. On-reveal effect, which doubles the power. If you can buff him up before you can get him out, or you can double down on that with Odin, he can provide some huge power to the board, even in pools 1 and 2. He's a great way to kind of win a single location, and that's kind of his strength in this deck. Odin, doubling down on a few different on-reveal effects, and he has a bit of versatility in this deck. You can use him on Ironheart, you can use it on Wolfsbane, most notably you can use him on Black Panther. Depending on how you want to round out the end game, you've got some flexibility and some options there. Chavez making all of your earlier draws a little bit more consistent, but also providing a decent power push should you need it at the end of the game. If you've gotten Okoye down earlier on in the game, she's going to be a 6/10, which is a surprising amount of power to play on turn 6 sometimes. something to consider, but she's mostly in the deck for the consistency in earlier draws. All right, so that's it for our deck breakdown. We're going to go ahead and jump into some games now. As always, we're playing in Pool 3 with full collections for the most part. We're currently at rank 75 with the new season reset, so let's go ahead and jump into some games. First off the bat, we have Savage Land, so pretty good for our Carnage if we do draw into it. I do like the old the Black Panther avatar there. I'm going to go ahead and drop Nightcrawler. I'm going to drop Nightcrawler into the far right location. It's usually pretty safe to play Nightcrawler into unflipped locations for the most part. Okay, and perfect Wakandan Embassy. So we do have Black Panther in hand with the Wakandan Embassy. That just seems perfectly fitting. We don't have a turn 2 though, so we're going to go ahead and skip this one. I think a big thing for us this game is trying to figure out how to win the second location here. Okay, so Nova. So we could potentially do like Ironheart here. Ironheart and we've got options. We've definitely got options, especially with Elysium. We almost don't have to play this turn. Especially if we're going to eat this with Carnage, if we get Carnage, that is. So I think we just drop Ironheart here. I don't think we're going to eat. Yeah, let's go ahead and drop Ironheart here because we might be able to Nova in the middle, and then potentially Carnage that if we get there. Okay, so again, we have lots of options here. We can do this, which I don't think it's a great idea. Come back here. We can do this, which is okay. Sets us up for a Wolfsbane. The big thing here is just figuring out how we're gonna win the final location. So I think actually we're going to Wolfsbane over here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to win it like, we're going to try and win it like this. With a big push over here. We also have room to move with Nightcrawler, being able to move Nightcrawler out. We are kind of giving up our particular play with Carnage, should we draw into Carnage. But we have a Carnage over in left, which we can also use. I wonder what this is going to hit. Okay, so we do dodge our Wolfsbane. So that was probably the best card it could have hit for us, which is very good. So options here we have is Odin on the final turn, which I would kind of assume it's going to win us that location. This is a really big power push for them. This is going to 12. We can also move this over last turn. I think we're happy with this play. We do have to just be aware of a Shang-Chi here. Okay, so Odin wins us here. So a Shang-Chi over in left adds 3. I think this is going to win us the game. I'm going to snap back. I'm pretty confident with this one. Even a Shang-Chi, it would have to be a Shang-Chi and then a 3 cost. So they double down on middle. Interesting. So even the America Chavez in left wouldn't have won them the game. So yeah, pretty strong. Pretty strong final few turns there. Yeah, we just had to figure out which second lane we were going to win. sometimes playing Odin in a different lane to Black Panther is the way to go to try and spread your power pretty evenly. So he ended up getting, you know, a decent power push across 2 locations. Pretty good, pretty good. We're going straight into Atilian. And I think we're just getting over out here. Let's go ahead getting over out. No Carnage in hand. But we do have the potential of a Mr. Sinister Carnage play. I like the options this deck gives you. It does give you a few different things to do. So on we can do, I think we'll do Okoye here for the rest of our deck. Always good to play Okoye on 2. We have options with Mr. Sinister Carnage play over on the Nova, which I don't mind. Daredevil's going to be interesting to play around. Or we have Attilan, so okay, and then Sokovia, so that's a bit unfortunate. We did get pretty unlucky. Missing. It would have been great to discard Forge there, I guess. But in that case, I think we just go ahead and drop the Ironheart here. Do we drop Ironheart? We are going to lose power here if we end up carnaging this. But I think we're okay. I think we're okay with that. So this is a Mysterio and something, I guess. Rocket Raccoon. That's an interesting play. So we did end up getting the old Black Panther back, which isn't bad. So we can just take the Shang-Chi now as an option. I think we do. We have a 10 power Black Panther, which we can drop anywhere. This is quite nice. So I've got to assume he's going to lock down right lane if we go for this one. Is that a fair call? What we can do here is this. This doesn't show a hand as well. This doesn't show a hand. So I do like this. I'm not sure if this is a Zoo deck. I'm really not sure exactly what this is. But we have the potential to Odin over in left lane. Move the Nightcrawler mid. It's an option. So I guess it's Professor X. Yep. So then do we have a... do we just have a Destroyer in mid? I don't think so. I mean, left lane we've got all wrapped up, so do we actually even need to do this? Is the question. For the most part. Do we just do this? How does he buff this to 6 plus 6? I mean, we can potentially spread more power over here, but... I mean, doing that adds 0 power, so maybe this is the best play. Let's go ahead and do this. I don't... Is this a Shang-Chi? Killmonger? Okay, Shang-Chi. That's okay. We're able to get enough power out there. So is it... yeah, we just had to figure out that last turn. I mean, either one kind of would have won it for us there. We did have the stronger hand for sure. But yeah, another good one. Even without playing Black Panther, this deck kind of does a lot of things quite well. A little update on the recording for this video. We're actually 3-1 with this deck. 3-1, which is, I think, is really quite strong, especially with a pool 2 deck, you know, versing full collections in pool 3. I think it's actually doing quite well. Absolutely. So I think, what do we got here? We can We can forge Mr. Sinister, which is interesting. We can just Nova, and I think we Nova this turn. Actually, no, do we want a Mr. Sinister? I think what we'll do is Mr. Sinister will Nova Carnage next turn. Hopefully this isn't going to be a an armor. No, I don't think so with his Bucky Barnes going down, but yep. Okay, Shuri's Lab. Interesting. So we do have the Shang-Chi for Shuri's Lab. This is a brand new location that's just come out as we've been filming this footage. So whenever you play a card here, double its power. Pretty crazy location for sure. Definitely leaning into the Black Panther, but yeah, we'll see how we go with that one. Looks like it could be a lot of fun though. So do we want to preemptively forge here? I think we preemptively forge here and we try and okay, so we do need to kind of draw into something decent here, I think. A very cool Nova variant there, for sure. This is a tough play. So if he's got a Shang-Chi, we're in a little bit of strife here. We'll see how we go though. I think it's our only play. I think the other plays are a bit too weak. Okay, so we're gonna get some Shang-Chi value right now. We are gonna get some Shang-Chi value right now. The only question I have is how do we win the rest of the game? So I don't want to scare him off here, because he might Shang-Chi us. So if he Shang-Chi's us, I think we do lose, because we're one behind here. We would draw here, and we'd lose here. So it's awkward. We almost should have played Forge over there earlier on. The other option is we give up. Well, we got to go for it, I think. So we needed to play Okoye into left lane, and we would have won. Okay, really starting to enjoy this deck actually. It's been a lot of fun, and we get Black Panther pulled straight off the bat into a Mega Red. Okay, so we just got to be aware of that too. This could be a great target for Odin later on if we can draw Odin. Let's go ahead and get Nova out. I think that's okay. We do just have to be aware of that Mega Red potentially with Iron Man Onslaught kind of shenanigans later on, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, that's fine. I think he assumes we're going for the Zola play potentially. This would be a great Carnage target if we can get it. We'll have a look. And we do get the Carnage. Quite nice right off the rip. Okay, so that's an option. Got turn 4 and 5 coming up here. Oh, we played that in the wrong order. My mistake. We could have had 2 more power. That would actually been quite significant on our Mr. Sinister. That was a big mistake from us. Okay, so ideally we do want to try and snipe something out here if we can. This isn't going to let us snipe something out. It's not going to let us snipe Punisher out, I mean. I think we just go ahead and do this and we wait and see.
I am Iron Man.
Okay, so I think we So he snaps here. We can just do this. I'm not sure how he gets the power into middle. Maybe he has a blue marble. It won't win him the game though, I don't think. Blue marble is going to go to essentially going to add 8 to this location because of so 28, and we're going to come in at 21. So I think we're safe here. Are we safe actually? Do we need to do this? Because blue marble is going to win him that location. The blue marble will take him to 28 here. We can't win this location. We needed Odin here to win this, so I think this is the play, if this is a blue marble. I was kind of on a thinking that this is Odin. Onslaught, interesting. So we sneak it out with the Monster Metropolis buff there. That was a little cheeky. Essentially, either play would have won us the game because we had 10. Either play would have won us the game. If it was blue marble, though, this is the play that we win with. But yeah, we sneaked that one out. That was a good one. I did make a big mistake here, which would have made it a lot easier. I incorrectly sequenced my Carnage on the Nova with the Mr. Sinister. We would have had 2 extra power here off the bat. But ended up not mattering in this one. But it was good. It was good that we had the options with Merrick Chavez at the end. All right, so that's it. I really hope you enjoyed some of those games and were able to kind of show off the strength of Black Panther and particularly the deck that's built around him. I think this deck can have some real success in Pool 2. It's got some flexibility in how you can play it out. It's got some counterplay, but it's also got some really strong win conditions at multiple locations. All right, so that's going to wrap us up for this one. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you on board, as well as liking the video. That really helps us out for sure. Thanks again for stopping by, and until the next one, I'll see you then.